Hey guys, welcome back. In this episode, I'm going to talk about how to start a real estate investment company. All right, so I've got multiple steps that you need to take of starting a real estate investment company. I don't want to waste any time. Let's get started right now. All right, so the first step in any real estate investment company startup is you have to pick your playground. You have to pick your farm area where you're actually going to invest in. I always recommend anybody that's just getting started to pick a spot that's about a 2 to 2.5 hour radius from your current home location. That's still a massive amount of space. That's a massive amount of area, but it's just where you can drive to it on a weekend if must be, or in the evening when you get off of work. The 2.5 hour, after that, the 2.5 hour radius, you're kind of pushing it. You know, it's almost like it turns into a whole entire day just to go there. So that's where I recommend staying within about a 2 to 2.5 hour radius. Next, you need to pick your avenue of real estate investing. For me, it is absolutely hands down land investing, because that's the fastest, easiest way for anybody that's beginning to get started in real estate. My story is I was looking for a way to quit my 9-to-5 job. It actually wasn't 9 to 5. It was more like 6 a.m. to 7 p.m., almost 13 hours a day, working for the military, shackled. I'd literally tell my boss when I would go to lunch, like literally everything. Like he knew my every step, because the military, like they put a lot of stress and pressure on you, and you're always going, you're always deployed, you're always training, you're always in the field. And I just wanted out. I wanted to see my kids before they went to school. I wanted to see my kids before they went to bed at night, and that wasn't happening in the military. So I was looking for a way out, and I found land investing. I found a podcast where this gentleman was on there talking about the land that he was buying, and overnight sometimes he was like doubling his money, tripling his money, quadrupling his money. And I took that to heart. I heard that podcast and I started taking action immediately. And I'm going to give you the steps right now of what to take. Some states call it a county treasurer. Where I was at, which was Colorado, where I'm from was Florida, they call it the tax collector. So I want you to call your county tax collector or county treasurer and ask, hey, who is in charge of keeping track of the people that are not paying their property taxes? This is how you find your list in your county of people that might be interested in selling their land for a massive discount. Why a massive discount? Because I want you to have room to make money on the back end of this property. When you find a buyer, I want your buyer to be able to get a discount as well. I want you to help the seller get rid of this property. I want you to help the landowner that's not paying their taxes get rid of the land, because they are about to lose that land anyways. I want you to help yourself, because I want you to get a discount on this property. If it's worth $10,000, I want you to pay $5,000. If it's worth $30,000, I want you to pay $10,000. I want you to get to like 1/3 or less of the actual value of the property. What does that mean? If I'm going to sell a $90,000 property, I want to pay about $30,000 for this piece of land. That gives me a 300% markup on that land. You need high profits. Let me tell you the fastest way companies go out of business. They don't make profit. They outspend their profit. And by buying real estate, you have to buy it at the right price if you're going to turn around and sell it. Now, if you're looking to hold it for 35 years and rent it out and let the tenants pay the mortgage, good luck collecting an extra $200 a month on top of all the expenses. That's going to be a long, slow, painful way of wealth. But buying land, you can buy it at crazy discounts, because the sellers oftentimes are not going to it. They're not paying the back taxes. They inherited it. They bought it 20 years ago because they were maybe going to build a cabin or like a second home or a vacation home on it, and they just never got around to it. Life got in the way. Things kept coming up. They kept having to pay for things. Things happen, and it's almost like you're lifting a burden off a lot of these people's shoulders, and you're helping someone else get into a piece of land. So that is the first step. Is number 1, pick your playground. Number 2, get the list of people that are behind on their taxes, and that's by going to the county treasurer or your tax collector's office. Step 3 is I want you to get this list, and I want you to figure out who the owner is, what their mailing address is, and what the site address is. Basically the property address, the piece of land address. And then I want you to send them a letter. So step 3 is getting the list and figuring out the information. If you have to transfer it to an Excel spreadsheet, whatever it takes, because step 4, I want you to mail them a postcard. This postcard should say something like, hey, my name is Brent Bowers. I'd like to buy your land at 123 Main Street. If you're interested in an all cash, fair offer, no hassle price, give me a call or text me God bless you, and be ready for your phone to ring. I'm gonna give you a free gift right now for just being here, watching this video, and be willing to take action. I want you to write this down. I want you to take actions. I want you to come back to this video because these steps I'm telling you have made me, in the last probably 12 months, at least several $100,000 just taking these exact steps I'm telling you to take. But before I give you this free gift of a postcard that I've bought hundreds and hundreds of parcels of land with, I want you to smash that subscribe button just to say thank you in advance. To ensure promptness, tip me, just like you would your server at your favorite restaurant. Hit that subscribe button. Let's keep going. All right, the free gift. I want you to go to thelandsharks.com/postcard, and that postcard is yours today. I'm just gonna ask you for your name and your email. It is yours for free. Check your spam folder if it doesn't come right away, and use that postcard and mail at least 20 of these a day to people that are behind on their taxes, not paying their land taxes. Heck, you can even use it for houses, whatever you want to do, but I'm talking about land here. All right, next thing is your phone's going to start ringing, and what do you say to these people? What do you say to these people? I'm going to give you another free gift, and that is going to thelandsharks.com/script that tells you exactly what to say to these people to get this property at a discount. You're going to do a little research, and then you're going to call them back and get this property under contract on a purchase agreement. And that purchase agreement can be found at thelandsharks.com/contract. You got to be careful with this one though. I want you to run it by a real estate attorney in your state to make sure it's okay to use this agreement to get properties under contract, to get this land under contract. And then when you get this land under contract at a discount, I want you to go out there and market this land to the world. I want you to tell your seller what you're doing too. I want you to tell your seller, hey, Mrs. Seller, I'm in the military, or I'm in accounting, or I work at Circle K. I'm doing this for extra income to help feed my family. I'm doing this for extra income to help my grandmother get her insulin for her diabetes. Is it okay with you if I turn around and sell this piece of land for a profit? Is it okay with you if I market this land and I work so hard to pay you the $5,000 that I promised to pay you? Is that okay? Do you have any issue with that? I'm not gonna keep this land. I'm gonna sell it and make a profit. I guarantee you 99.9% of the time that seller is gonna be 100% on board with you, and they're gonna pray for you to be able to sell that land. They're gonna wanna see you succeed because you gotta share your story. You don't have to tell them that you're some land tycoon. You can say, I'm just starting out. I'm just starting out. You better believe that I told that CPA that sold me that first parcel of land for $285 that I was in the military. I was tired of being away all the time. I'm on my second marriage because my wife never saw me. I was always gone. We divorced. I'm on wife number 2. We just had our first baby, and I'm just trying to make extra money to get out of the military. Do you have any reservation of me selling this land and making profit? You better believe that he said, absolutely not. I'm gonna pray for you, and I hope you make a profit. And I sold that land the next day for $5,000. And we celebrated that win. We had a coffee together, and here we are now, just a couple years later, 74 land notes, over 400 land deals, and I'm telling you exactly how to do it on YouTube for free. If you're looking for someone to help you, guide you through this process, someone to hold your hand, to give you the steps to take, what to do when you hit that doubt or the distraction when you see another shiny object, when you hear about this guy that's doing an apartment complex or subject to existing financing, or maybe the disappointment when that first deal blows up in your face, and someone that's going to be there to tell you how to do it, how to get over it, how to keep moving around it, and how to pivot. I'm that guy, and I want you to go to thelandsharks.com and schedule a call right now. Fill out the form, talk to my team. If we like what you have to say, we'll even invite you into our tribe.